Hi YouTube, this is a commission that I got a while back to do an acrylic painting, and as you can see it's quite an involved image, lots going on. It's a really fun one to do because the scene, I mean I love painting animals anyway, but the scene is so kind of busy, and doing the stage in the background and all the fireworks, really interesting sky, a moon, all kinds of stuff going on. Um, so yeah, this is done on mount board, so it's quite a big painting. And in this video, I'm just going to talk you through the various stages of it. Okay, so step one was to get it all drawn up in pencil. When I do watercolour paintings, I draw everything like this as an outline, but then I shade it all in pencil as well. And then I apply the watercolour on top because it's transparent. But because this is an acrylic painting, I just needed an outline done like this. Now, it seems like I just kind of did this straight off, but actually I planned all the animals first individually on individual separate bits of paper. Um, so I knew what they were going to look like, and then I could kind of scale them up or down and place them where I wanted to. So even to get to this stage took a really long time, but it was definitely worth it. And just doing things like planning for the stage and things, looking at different reference material for kind of Glastonbury style stages and that kind of thing. The animals in this picture are a mix of pets that the client owns, um, and also animals that she really loves. And I think she picked a really good range of animals. So stage two, I just blocked in all of the black areas. I think this is really good because it starts to give the whole image a bit of contrast quite quickly, and also make some of the animals kind of stand out a bit as well. Stage three, I'm still blocking in areas of flat colour. The hill in the background is purpley because it's a nighttime scene. I didn't want to do any kind of green hills or anything. I wanted it to look really nighttime kind of colours. Stage four, I'm still blocking in areas of flat colour, but I've started on the animals. When I'm doing this, because with acrylic, obviously, because it's solid colour, if I were to just block it in over all the lines and everything, they would just look like silhouettes. Like take the elephant there, for example. He would just look like a big grey silhouette if I didn't leave little gaps where the lines are. So this is how I do it. I just leave little gaps as I go, and that gives me the detail, and I can see where that is when I need to come back and paint the shadows in later. Okay, more blocking in of animals, all still flat colour, but you can see it's getting a lot fuller now. It's quite interesting choosing the colours at this stage because although it's a nighttime painting, I didn't want everything to look, too blue or too purple overall. I needed the animals in the foreground to still be recognisable, and have their colours. So I kind of made it look like it's a bit more lit in the foreground, and I think that works really well in the end. Okay, so you can see that a lot of the lines that I left white for all the detail, I've gone over now with black and I've started to blend some of the black in to soften it and start to add a few shadows. Obviously I'll add a lot more as I go along later. With the flags I've blocked in those sort of main colours. With the moon I wanted it to have a crescent shape to it, but I also wanted to be able to see the whole fullness of a circular moon. So I've done both and I've added lots of crater detail to make it more spectacular. And when I come to airbrush the sky, I should be able to make that look even better at that point. So yeah, this is how it's looking at this stage, but there's so much more work to do on it. Okay, after adding quite a lot more detail to the animals, I've done both shadows and highlights on some of them. Some of them I've still got work to do. You can see for example, like the dog in the foreground, and lots that still look kind of flat at this point, all need working up. But a lot of them have been done at least kind of partially. Okay, and then the hard bit on this is airbrushing the background, because what that involves is masking off everything in the foreground. So you've got this stuff called art mask, which is like a sort of plastic film. It's a bit like sticky back plastic, but not quite as sticky. And what you do is you lay it out over your picture. You have to draw around all the outline. I just use a biro, and then you cut it all out on a cutting mat, and then you stick it over everything. So if you imagine over the stage, over the hill in the background, over all the flags, there was a mask, and over the kite and the moon, basically anything in that kind of back section, to allow me then to go ahead and airbrush the background with everything else protected. And then it was just a case of using my airbrush to get the effect of the aurora borealis in the background. The fireworks, I just did kind of rough kind of starburst effects initially, and then a lot of the kind of detail of the fireworks is added on afterwards, and trying to get that kind of nice effect for the moon and then all the kind of individual stars. So it's hard to see on this kind of image, but on a video like this, but each star has got kind of like a high point of light and then a kind of little glow around it to make it more kind of realistic. So I think the sky works really well and adds a lot of interest to the whole kind of image, and a whole kind of, with all the fireworks and these, gives a real kind of festive atmosphere, which I think is what the client was after. So I was really pleased at this stage, and it's just adding more detail to all the animals next. Okay, so this is how it looked as a finished painting. You can see on this I've added a lot more detail to the animals, a lot more shadows, a lot more highlights. You get a much stronger kind of sense of where the light's coming from. And then you can see on the stage I've gone in, added quite a lot of extra kind of textures, shading in between all the bars, highlights and things on the bars and the beams, shadows and textures and things on the speakers. And then on the lights as well, I've airbrushed kind of beams of light coming from those, and that adds extra colour to the image. So overall, it's ended up being a really bright, colourful kind of image, and just so much going on. You could kind of sit and look at this painting for hours, which is one of the things that I love about it. And every time you look at it again, you see more. You see an extra animal you didn't notice before, because there's such a kind of crowded group there. They're all kind of tucked in between each other and things. And I tried to obviously get the positions of the animals, kind of different for each one, so they all look like they're kind of in action doing various dance moves and things. And they've all got individual kind of personalities of their own, so I was really pleased with how it turned out. Okay, I'll leave you with this very quick run through again of all the different stages, so you can see it kind of being built up. It's very satisfying to watch. I hope you've enjoyed this video and it's given you some idea of this particular commission that I got. Like I say, I really enjoyed this one. It's just my kind of thing, because I love doing animals especially, and just trying to kind of give them all individual characters was really good fun. I mean, it ended up taking months and months, but it was definitely worth it. So thanks for watching. Hit subscribe to see other painting videos that I've done, and I'll catch you in the next video.